Hey all you cool pups and puppies, this is Chris from Sterling Dog Training, and I wanted to do a segment on separation anxiety. We've seen a 70% increase in dog adoptions and fostering since the coronavirus has been in effect, the quarantine. So I've heard from some of my clients and some of my circle of friends and family that they don't know what to do when they go back to work and back to school with their poor dog that has been spending 24 hours a day with them. So let's talk first about different levels of separation anxiety. There's mild separation anxiety. This is usually your dog barking or pacing while you're gone. How do we know they're barking when you're gone? Your neighbors tell you. Or you have cameras and you can see it happening yourself. There's barking that happens for 3 or 4 minutes after you walk out the door, but once you're gone, really gone, get in your car and you go to work, sometimes that just subsides. But they're barking again 3 minutes before you walk in the door because they know you're coming home, so you think they're barking all day. So we want to determine whether it's for a few moments after you leave or if it's all day long. Also, the next level would be coming home and finding your dog drenched with their own saliva, which means they've been shaking and drooling all day. And that, of course, is a distress for dogs, and we want to make sure that doesn't happen either. The next level we go to is where a dog is actually hurting themselves or destroying your house, trying to get out of either their crate or maybe a room they're in. So you come home and you see all the paint scratched off the door. That's a little worse than just shaking or drooling. Or you come home and your dog's in its crate and its paws are bloody and its teeth are bleeding because it's been chewing trying to get out. That's very serious. If you come home and your dog has defecated and peed all over the place, then you do want to make sure that you speak to a professional because that's a little more serious. You'd want to talk to a certified trainer or also your vet. There are some good medications out there and some good herbal and natural products that could maybe help your dog get through some of this more hard stuff. But really the stuff I'm going to talk about today is going to help with that mild separation anxiety, or it's going to prevent it from ever happening. You may have a situation where your puppy or your dog follows you constantly around the house. The first thing you want to do is ignore your dog. I know you've heard it before, it's common sense, but just keep in mind when we talk about ignoring a dog, we're talking about no looking, no talking, and no touching your dog. The touching, the talking is probably easier not to do, but the looking is harder. Don't side-eye your dog. They know when you're looking at them sideways, so don't look at them either. If you don't know what to do with yourself, you get up from the couch, the dog follows you everywhere. You go into the bathroom, it follows you everywhere. You go into the bedroom, it follows you everywhere. Go do something that keeps you focused. Because believe it or not, if we're thinking about our dog constantly and don't know what to do with ourselves, they sense that. Go into the kitchen, walk up to your kitchen sink, turn on the water, pretend you're doing dishes. Pretend you're washing your hands. It's something for you to focus on and your dog's used to you doing that. Maybe go into the bathroom, pretend you're brushing your teeth. Pretend you're just washing your hands. Focus on something else. So that's one thing you can do, is you go do something else. You can also distract your dog. Everybody hears about the Kongs. Stuff them with peanut butter, freeze them, give them to your dog. It keeps them busy for a while. So there are distraction methods you can do with your dog also. The other thing you want to make sure that you do is leave. I know it's difficult now because of our quarantine, but if you're able to leave your house, and I don't mean just one person, the whole family's got to vacate the house for 15 minutes, for a half hour, go walk around the block. If you're unsure what your dog is doing when you're gone, set up a camera. If you don't have a camera, just leave one of your smartphones on record, stand it up somewhere, so when you come back, you can see what your dog did while you were gone. You may find your dog paces by the door 3-4 minutes and then it goes and curls down. A little peace of mind to know that's what's really happening. So this is something you need to practice. If you have a dog that's already experienced separation anxiety, those times when you leave the house should grow. You leave for 15 minutes, come back. You leave for a half hour, come back. You leave for an hour, come back. The other thing that's super important, and this should happen whenever you leave or enter the house, ignore your dog. That means when you come in that front door, you walk past your foyer, your dog may be jumping on you, maybe looking for attention. Don't do anything. Don't talk to your dog. Don't look at your dog. Don't touch your dog. Walk right into your main part of your house, your kitchen, your office, your living room. Put your things down, right? We have a briefcase, we have groceries, whatever it is. Ignore your dog. Put that stuff down. Still ignore your dog. Now, if your dog sits and looks at you, then you can interact. And more often than not, when you come home from a day at work, your dog's very excited. So even if your dog is doing well and sits there looking for your affection, you may be better off with just a good dog as opposed to getting excited, petting them a lot, getting them worked up, because now they're going to get more excited. What we want the dog to think is when people come or go, it's not a big deal. So when you leave, it's the same thing. No, goodbye, I'll see you later, you're okay, mommy's going to work, daddy's leaving, none of that. Leave your dog wherever they're going to be while you're gone and just leave, okay? We have some dogs that will react to indicators. My personal dog, it's the electric toothbrush. When my dog hears that electric toothbrush, she knows I'm leaving. And she's a trainer's dog, so she's not gonna bark or try to get my attention, but she will go to the door and she will sit. Because there's certain days she will go with me and there's certain days she won't. So if I go to that door and I tell her to go lay down, she goes to lay down, she knows she's not going with me. Or I put the leash on and she heads out the door with me. But she does it every day, and it's really the electric toothbrush that sets her off. It could be your car keys, it could be the hair dryer. They understand. So those are the times when you really have to ignore them. And I'll back up a little bit here. If you already have a dog with severe separation anxiety and they start to get worked up because they see you getting your briefcase, your pocketbook, and your keys and brushing your teeth, and it gets them all worked up, try to do some of that stuff beforehand. For example, get your purse, your briefcase, all that stuff together in a certain spot the night before. So when you're ready to go, you go out the door. You're not searching for everything, your dog's following you around. Again, these are certain techniques. You have to do them over and over again, but they will help. So, just to recap, if your dog follows you around, go do something that distracts you and give them something that distracts them. When entering or leaving the house, no drama, okay? You just come and go without any drama. Ignore your dog until they're calm, and then you can interact with them. Leave your house for periods of time. You can do intervals of 15 minutes to a half hour where you're leaving and you're coming back, okay? Leave a phone or camera on while you're gone so you can truly see what's going on with your dog. And if you do some of these things, it should alleviate some of the separation anxiety. Now, if you have severe separation anxiety or some of these things just aren't working, please reach out to me. You can get me at sterlingdogtraining@gmail.com. I also have a Facebook page. If you are working with 11th Hour Rescue and you're a foster parent, please get in touch with me through their Facebook page. I help out the fosters free of charge. So if you have any questions about anything, please reach out to me. I hope everybody's having a good dog day, and it's been my pleasure talking to you. Ciao.